I know my children and my grandchildren deserve what's rightfully theirs, and that's this land.
There was everything in here, you name it. Squirrel, moose, deer, coyote, bear, wolf. It was all here.
You know, a lot of the older people who have taken this fight to protect our land and save our land have left us, so that puts us in a situation with a bigger burden to continue that fight. And they've always stated that we've got to keep our land alive. For us, it's not a question of asking for land. We know it's our land. The problem is the province figures it's theirs, and they keep issuing licenses, permits to the oil and gas industry and also to the logging industry.
There are traditional territories like this. It starts up north and goes south to Township 81, because that's where we had sat down with our elders and where they had hunted and trapped for years.
There's 3 areas that they always wanted us to keep and protect for as long as we could. This one here at around Lubukan, the other one at Hague Lake, the other one at Bison Lake. There's 3 key areas. They're kind of the heart of our traditional area. And they all each had roles to play. It had to do with, say, the animals and the soils that surround it for gardens and everything else. Like Hague Lake is good for fishing. It was kind of our stopover before we broke up into all the different groups throughout the year. And then back in the spring we'd do that and end up here.
And we had no roads at that time. No, nothing was snow plowed. We had to use dog teams and no skidoos. It was no fun, but that was life, eh? So. And the hunting is much poorer now than it was before, and the moose were healthier in years ago before the oil company showed up.
In 1978 and 79, when they pushed in an all-weather road in here, that's when the damage started here in our lands. It's big damage, huge, what it's done to my people up here. We're in the heart of Lubukan land here, and they built this sour gas plant here. Then them trucks that you've seen coming in here, they go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It happened soon after they come here, when there was 400 pump jacks that surrounded my people. Then they start having our women start having problems with carrying babies. Like out of 21 pregnancies, there was 19 stillbirths. This is what's doing it.
Pipeline breaks such as this, or where the contaminants are exposed to the ground, what happens is, if there's any salt content, that you'll get the animals such as white-tailed deer coming in. The crew got what they could, but as to getting it all, I don't think that happens. Like, the oil company is interested in making money, not spending it.
We're fighting like hell to prevent that from happening. But as they reduce us, to reduce our land, they get the upper hand. The more they destroy our land, the weaker they get us. Now, for example, even hunting moose and the wildlife that our people are dependent on, well, the more toxic they get, then, you know, it's a chain reaction. What happens to the moose comes back to our people.
Right after that winter it was logged, it looked like a war zone was through here. You're a young person, you'll never see it. Mature trees where they'll be harvested again. It takes that long. Our grandchildren won't ever see it.
The majority of our people can't afford good quality drinking water, which we have to get in Peace River, which is approximately 100 kilometers.
There's a water tank, a holding tank here for the school. We use that for washing dishes and bathing the kids and whatnot. But everything that we use for drinking is bottled water.
I have 2 daughters. One will be 12 in August, and the other one will be 14 on July 27th. And the only place that they wash up is it's like a horse trough. They bail in the water there. That's how they stay clean. Kids are forced into a situation where they have to drink the water that's not really drinkable, but that's what they have to get by.
The very least that they could do is put some kind of water and sewer system for our elders. But they've got a million reasons why they can't. And they want us to give up our Aboriginal right just for things like that. And it don't make any sense, because everybody else enjoys or figure those are just everyday luxuries that they may have. But in this case, no. The list goes on as to what happens out here, especially where it's hidden. That's why it's critical for us that people on the outside at least know what's going on. They can't just walk in. Today is Canada Day. I remember a few years ago when they were threatening to come and bulldoze our homes on Canada Day.
There are no human rights here. They don't exist. And the proof is in our graveyards. We've lost our children and our grandchildren, our brothers and our sisters. There used to be just a few graves, like from 1978 and prior. But when they opened the road, it's their progress. And our graveyards are full now.
There's more sickness, there's more disease than that you can think of, which we never had before.
There's probably over more than half of the population is on welfare. There's a lot of drinking, alcohol, drugs, prescription abuse, like all that stuff.
We're having suicides now because there is no future that the young people see, and they basically give up.
Life is so precious that it far outweighs any economic situation. And in that regard, we are always taught that we got to try and help one another. If somebody is hungry, you feed them. Or if somebody can't do something for themselves and you're able to do that for them, then that's what you go and do. So it's been a struggle, having been put in a situation where you're kind of welfare dependent, to retain that, because the social fabric of any society doesn't have to be native. You do that to a white community, you would see the vast changes with that society in a very short term.
Say a single mother with 2 kids, all she gets is $345, and that's supposed to last her all month. Like, how's she supposed to support her kids and get whatever she needs? I don't think a lot of the young girls know what to do if they were to be asked to fix something, even the fur, or not sure a lot of people know how to do the dry meat or even fix a moose or anything, like, because they just hardly ever see it. Well, and me, I lost a little boy 14 months ago, and it really seemed to open my eyes. Like, I really realized, like, how precious these kids are. Mind you, I never allowed alcohol or drugs or anything in my house. Like, I tried to raise my kids the way I thought was right. And I still ended up losing my little one.
You know, if you look in a dictionary of what's happening when they mention cultural genocide, and you look what's happening to our people, to a small group like us, and the consequences and all the things that surround us, the word defines what's transpiring here.
We've stayed together, and we laugh, and we all cry together, because we've taken direction from the elders that are gone now, that never to give up what's rightfully ours, and they were speaking of the land.
We do a bit of work for oil companies to keep our young people employed, so our kids could have something. Especially at Christmas time.
That's where we got a real fine balance there, where we're trying to do some work and at the same time not get involved where we see they're destroying the land. It's really, really tricky. But having said that, what we try to do is, like, for example, when they knock trees down to build an oil lease, or if they knock trees down to build a road or a power line or whatever, pipeline, we take them trees, we bring them back to the yard, then we either give them to a sawmill, they come and get them, and then they give us lumber in exchange, and we bring that to the community for the community to use.
I'm just trying to make something new in the community, I guess. A different house, a new house, I guess that's all I could say. Something, try it different. Maybe other people will be interested in houses like this. See how much it costs to build one. Once we start, then it'll be easier and as we go, I guess.
Every summer we do what we call a summer work program, where we take the kids who have been in school and take them for 2 weeks, and they go to work, 9 to 5. We try to teach them good work ethic, hard work, and where it's going to take you. And because they're in school, that's the incentive to stay in school, so you can, go to work in the summer, which has helped a lot of kids stay in school because that's what they wanted. And the jobs they would do aren't really big, but they just cleaning up the community, cleaning up the graveyards, cleaning up the elders' yards and stuff, just little things, but it would give them pride.
We've always had horses. We grew up around horses. We hunted and done things, and there's where we can't do too much of that now because of the development that surrounds us. So we got to keep our horses penned up, which is not good on one hand, because they like their freedom just as much as we like our freedom. The young people, they get they ride and they get into these gymkhana and things. So they recognize there's some responsibilities that go along with this stuff. The decrease in wildlife, for example, moose, where we're dependent on that meat for everyday use. We figured, well, we'll try buffalo. There's a few of the younger people that say, hey, those are our pets, we can't eat them. But I mean, in the long run, we're hoping that we can, establish that. And it's part of trying to rebuild our community. I don't think, money is a solution. I think we've got enough young people who can, stand up and be counted on for them to be able to pick up the pieces and build something for the future.
We're the ones that are being greedy. That's the way they see us. And that's the way the government's portrayed this, with this media that they put out constantly, year after year after year. And all we're asking for is to be a viable community.
I think they think we're lazy and greedy when they don't even know the real story. Like, they don't know what's behind everything. Here they're getting rich off our land and we're not even getting anything. Like, we're still in the same spot we were how many years ago, and it just makes me angry. And a lot of times they see an Indian drinking right away, he's a lazy, no good bum, and they don't even know what kind of life he had or why he's in that situation he's in.
They know very well that giving out these licenses, that they're asserting jurisdiction when they know bloody well that they don't.
We're not going to get on our hands and knees to these guys and say, please give us something. We're beyond those times.
Like, the term blackmail really does. It just defines everything. It's because we don't just, we won't back down. Because we won't back down, there's certain things that are taken from us. The services that we need are taken from us. The housing, the money we need for housing is taken from us. And it's just like a trade-off. And it's really sad because then, like, we're being punished because we stand up for what we believe in.
They may talk about law, then they should look at the law and how the rest of Canada has been dealt with and how the people have been dealt with. And even then, to this day, we got friends all throughout Canada, for example, First Nation people, Aboriginal people, who are all in little boxes, just like our horses there. And I don't think that's fair by any means. But that's the kind of treaty they signed, which the governments don't respect. So those are all part and parcel of what we look at in order to try and achieve a settlement that's going to allow our people to build a future on, our young people to build something on. And anything short of that, then this fight is going to continue.